However, as I watch it, I think, oh, that's got good body weight. It's got all these other good things. Even so, you can still see some oscillation in it, very, very slight oscillations, like small jiggles back and forth as it moves. Additionally, we can now see right away that those shins, or whatever the lower leg components are unquestionably structural. Elon has gone and removed the covers after he complained that the competition was undertaking a frame-by-frame analysis. I am aware that there are many things that were before hidden from view. They appear smaller. Basically, I was thinking, my goodness, what's Elon doing tonight? Following the Chancellery ruling today, we are aware that he is in the Optimus lab, examining everything and, in essence, avoiding distractions. This is Tesla's amazing humanoid robot, Optimus. We'll examine Optimus in detail in this video, covering everything from its remarkable gait and complex architecture to its possible charging options. Additionally, we have some intriguing information about how motion capture is transforming its advancement. But before we begin, remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons to become a part of our always expanding community for Tesla stock news. We're waiting for you with the most recent Tesla news, stock analysis, and cutting-edge tech conversations. So fasten your seatbelts, because Tesla is bringing you the robotics of the future. To fully grasp why Optimus is causing a stir in the tech sector, let's first take a closer look at its fascinating world. Are you ready? Come on, let's roll. Elon took us all by surprise when he unveiled Optimus, the walking robot, at what I believe to be the Palo Alto factory, but I'm not positive. Palo Alto is a likely candidate. The exciting part is that we were able to witness Optimus walk. It has a nice distribution of body weight. It is remarkably realistic. Its gait does, however, exhibit some faint oscillations, just little jiggles back and fro. It has a hanging tether at its back that is typically attached to the bot, and a yellow tag on its side. For the walking demonstration, they have taken it off. Additionally, since the skin has been removed, we can now see that the lower leg sections are structural. This dispels any uncertainty regarding their intent. When examining the walk, one can observe a discernible toe off and a slight bend in the legs, which is not quite straight. This is similar to what we witnessed in the December video. In fact, Elon Musk's demand for frame-by-frame analysis has been successful. The internal mechanisms are much more visible when the coverings are removed. The leg motors are more compact and sleek than previously, particularly the hip ones. Compared to some other bots on the market, Optimus looks quite skeleton without the outer shell, like a stick figure. Once hidden, the shoulder now displays its Y-Patrol system with 3 interconnected joints. Additionally, the cable routing appears to be well organized. There seems to be a tiny tilt from horizontal, however it's hard to tell for sure. We can clearly see the fans responsible for cooling the battery. They are presumably chilling a liquid rather than air, which might be more critical during charging than routine operation. When evaluating the energy dynamics of the battery pack, it's vital to understand that the heat generation within the robot impacts not only certain places but its entire body. Effective active cooling becomes crucial to enabling high-speed charging. For this reason, it can be a little difficult to determine whether fans are present on the opposing side. Similar to human sweating, the significant heat emission zones appear to be centered in the armpit and underarm areas. This suggests that while the bot is operating, its temperature may rise. A crucial insight lies in how Optimus is linked. It used to be tied through the top of the head, but it appears that this technique has been abandoned. One reasonable explanation for this shift is to prevent the neck region from being overworked by bearing the weight of the entire body. Despite having large parts like battery, CPU, GPU, and FSD chips, Optimus has an incredibly streamlined architecture. This design contrasts sharply with other versions, which frequently have big constructions resembling backpacks. On its back, though, there is an odd part that begs the question of what it is used for. Although it's unclear exactly how Optimus charges, it's probable that this block acts as a charging converter of some kind. One reasonable theory is that Optimus runs on a DC system, which reduces the requirement for internal AC converters. Rather, it may depend on external parts, similar to laptop, e-bike, and phone chargers. This method improves portability and streamlines the design. Jordan thinks that the Optimus's battery pack has a maximum capacity of 7 to 8 kilowatts, which means that it might not be able to be charged by a 250 kilowatts supercharger. The possibility of software limiting these bots to 90% of their battery life is another factor to take into account. Limiting access to the top 10% of the battery will greatly increase its lifespan, even though it may only have a 2.5 kilowatts capacity. This strategy would work better for humanoid robots than for automobiles, where the additional 10% range is more important. Additionally, compared to cars that might have to travel farther to reach a charging station, the convenience of nearby charging stations enables deeper battery discharges. A closer examination of Optimus reveals a wrist mechanism with two joints that have some slop, allowing for a large range of motion. Like the human hand, these joints may rotate and articulate and resemble spherical joints. Notably, the wrist is now smaller and more compact thanks to design changes. Additionally, the Optimus has simplified hip and pelvic components with notably reduced motors. This simplified design makes it look more effective and beautiful. Because humanoid walking requires a different axis of motion, the hip joint's center of rotation seems to be slightly lower than that of a human. The bot's stride length and maximum speed may be restricted by this design modification, but it fits the purpose of the factory setting, where a fast walking pace of about 5 miles per hour is not necessary. Without more precise pictures, we cannot say with certainty whether the elbow mechanism has changed much. It appears to be mostly in line with the earlier design, though. Interestingly, a heat sink is visible at the front, indicating that Optimus has a significant amount of processing power. The fans are clearly visible, suggesting the existence of a cooling system that probably circulates cooling liquid around the FSD, CPU, GPU, and batteries. Let's now examine that complex Optimus mechanism in more detail. Given the restricted perspective we have here, it is admittedly a little difficult to understand the precise workings. Recall that the old version had more clarity thanks to that noticeable black element that extended over the top. It appears to have been streamlined in this new design, though, which might have caused the axis of rotation to move farther back. Indeed, when you have a chance to compare photos and even obtain access to better ones, some things become more apparent. We'll try our best with what we have, but regrettably, there isn't currently a way to download the movie for a more thorough examination. Going on to the hip region of Optimus, it is clear that the parts are lighter and more compact than in the previous version. The lack of coverings has left some wiring exposed, but it's important to note that cable raceways are present and neatly wrap these wires. Even without its skin, Optimus looks elegant and effective, in contrast to some other robots that look like a maze of wires. The group appears to have given careful consideration to keeping the design neat and functional. Let's move on to the fascinating subject of leg mobility. Optimus's knees are evidently never fully locked out. Instead, they remain slightly bent during the walking cycle. The capacity to imitate a human's natural walk is a classic robotics task spectators. Optimus exhibits remarkable hip and torso movements, mimicking the minute weight shifts and rotations of a human walker, while there is still opportunity for development. Examining the arm systems, we see that the elbow joints mostly follow earlier designs. In contrast, the wrist mechanism has become more compact and streamlined. It's not enough to merely observe Optimus's amazing developments from a distance. With the most recent information on Tesla, stock price targets, innovation, and all things Elon Musk, Seeking Alpha is the one-stop shop for Tesla bulls and those with an eye for finding the next big thing in the stock market. The greatest online source of pro-Tesla news is Seeking Alpha. Get down to the facts and avoid the lamestream media's anti-Tesla rhetoric. For a unique discount, click the link in the description. Let's return again to examine the torso's equilibrium. The weight seems to have moved to the bot's left side, and it is rotating while walking, exhibiting appropriate locomotion. For a physical object like Optimus to remain stable and prevent falling, this is essential. Walking is basically controlled falls, where every stride is a precise movement to avoid falling flat on your face, for those who are not familiar with the concept. It's a delicate dance of recuperation and balance. It looks to be approximately 6:30 p.m. in Palo Alto at the time of this video. We're left wondering if it's the beginning of an evening shift or late work hours.